Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Deep Roots Solutions. Today, let's consider the healing of Afghanistan. From my perspective, it's very important that the Ummah transition to a holistic healing modality, a paradigm shift, if you will. And we have the conceptualization of the healed healers. I would love to see Afghanistan as one of the strong starting points for healing within the Ummah, so that the people of Afghanistan can heal from their PTSD and their traumas and become healers, including growing of the medicines and the foods that are necessary to then spread throughout the Ummah and throughout the world, inshallah. So some of the things that we can focus on would be, consider this: Khorasan in general, but Afghanistan in particular, should be an epicenter of plant medicines, holistic healing modalities, comparative contemplative study and retreat, Eastern Persian language, culture, and historical studies, as it relates to the spread of Silk Road Buddhism and Sufism, study of comparative shamanism and trans-Himalayan horticulture, medicines, architecture, etc., should also be strong there moving forward, inshallah. In other words, there is a massive unrealized and untapped potential in the region. Also, it would be beneficial to look at Khorasani craftsmanship from ancient times onward and revive techniques to serve niche and specialty international markets. We need to give dignity and prosperity back to our brethren and sistren from the old Khorasani lands. No more fantasy talk, but instead pure practicality and the prophetic path of purification. In previous videos, I've already discussed how we need to make a massive Muslim-made, holistic and organic push business-wise, dealing with the purest, most ethical business practices. This is also a form of deep dawah. Consider that Islam is genuinely an all-organic, holistic, and ethical contemplation tradition, and we are to be the designated gardeners, guardians, and protectors of the world. And in a collaborative effort over time, we can prove this definitively in a collaborative effort. Along with places like Palestine and other war-torn, traumatized areas, Khorasan would be ideal as a blueprint region for transitioning into a healing paradigm and to bring forth healers that will then help to heal the Ummah as a whole and to then become healers of the world and the world's populations, inshallah. Places like Khorasan and Palestine would be ideal location for small batch specialty items, as well as educational centers and contemplation centers. Places like Turkey would be more ideal for manufacturing all organic clothing and household items, ready-made self-assembly greenhouses that could then, and other materials like garden boxes and whatnot that could then be used in at contemplation and healing centers and community centers where the training would take place within the various healing modalities. So, because places like Turkey, they have the strong infrastructure that would be beneficial in these endeavors. Islam should not only be on the cutting edge of all things organic and holistic healing-wise, but lead the way in ethical, heartful business practices. We should be working to align and harmonize our energies with those of the Imam and Isa alayhum salam. And as we study and practice, these things will become more apparent in silent sitting and sajda. We need to come out of the current con narrative and the delusions and deceptions and move forward into a truth paradigm, a paradigm of wholeness and healing. Spiritual revival is absolutely necessary and possible if justice is to be made manifest. Contemplate this to see. We must not denigrate others for lack of comprehension and subpar critical thinking, but in a compassionate and skillful manner, We must demonstrate the truth of our way. It must stand up to any test if it is real, if it is genuine and authentic. I am confident that we can overcome all obstacles through Haqq. We must. There is no other option remaining for us. Agriculture and healing focus. We need to be focused on cutting-edge organic biodynamics, non-harming pest and plant disease protection. We need to focus on ecosystem expertise in cultivation. We need to seek out and collaborate with people across the Ummah and those who are sympathetic with our cause of healing the Ummah and beyond. People who have genuine focus on ethics and purity, who take a holistic approach to things, especially from within the Ummah. And we need to be more self-sufficient and interdependent and not dependent on outsiders. We need to not be dependent on any type of big organizations and traditional nonprofits that have entrapped us. Instead, we need to bring forth our expertise in all areas of holistic healing, of organic agriculture, of plant medicines, of energy medicines, anything that is going to be part of the holistic healing process that's going to bring us out of this mess. And thinking ecosystemically is very important, understanding the interconnections of all things. Because when we're thinking as individuals, we're more apt to be selfish. We need to be more selfless in healing one another. And we need to call forth the best healers from our community in order to return to a golden age. To return to a golden age, we have to think as if we are from the garden and we're moving back to the garden. And we need to think in garden terminology. So we can do things along these lines to remineralize soils, to clean our water sources and our wetlands. There are many amazing things that we can do. We can also focus on job creation in places like Afghanistan, where we are bringing forth the healthiest foods and healing medicines, using our food as our medicine, and training people to bring forth nutrient-dense, cleansing and detoxing foods and healing foods. In small scale, small batch for personal families and trade, and to develop the best educational systems in the entire world. We can bring forth collaboratively our best thinkers in areas of education, of agriculture, etc., and then create solutions, organize solutions that will work in places like Afghanistan, war-torn areas, and then help to bring about local experts. You know, like where the Afghanis become healers. They heal themselves and through Allah's help and through this collaborative effort, and then they can then share this information with others and go forth as experts. So we need easy assembling components for greenhouses and garden boxes, which can be produced in places like Afghanistan, and then stable places that have solid infrastructure that are predominantly Muslim, like Turkey. We need to develop holistic community centers with community gardens, while focus on training, seminars, workshops, lectures, farmers markets, entrepreneurial seminars and workshops, culinary and healing arts and sciences, practical crafts, food as medicine. We need to focus on an ecosystemic, non-harming, organic purification ethic. Always eliminate, minimize, and prevent harm to any within the living fabric of creation, which is Allah's. Allah has created all this. We should be protecting it and defending it, not abusing it, not taking it, not misusing it and misappropriating it, I should say. So this is a Quranic focus. Think about the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That actually is a foundational document right there that you can then apply and derive a complete ethical system from. It's a non-harming system, one rooted in actual mercy-filled justice and wisdom and compassion. We also focus on how everything is created by kun, so therefore everything is interconnected by kun. Because we are created from sacred soil and living water and sacred soil connect us to every single thing within creation on an atomic and subatomic and chemical level. Our Adamic sacred clay is very key in this process. Also, the Ruh connects us to all other humans, as does this sacred soil. So we need to focus on these in deriving a very mobile, flexible, adaptable, ethical system that's rooted in purification and ethics. And we need to protect the weak, the vulnerable, and the innocent, and have mercy-filled justice. And so when we go to this level, and this is something that we need to apply to places like Afghanistan, to Iraq, to Syria, to Libya, all across the Muslim world. Do not look to outsiders to fix these problems. You know, we need to not be overly dependent on unhealthy sources. And we need to focus on how are we going to heal our hearts and heal our bodies and heal our families, heal our marriages, heal our communities, and heal our ecosystems and our infrastructures. Afghanistan is an ideal place to begin this process. So anyway, give this some thought. We need to collaborate and move to a whole new level with this. There's very little time. First, we need to have the intention to be healed, because remember, Allah will not change the status of a people until we change what is in our hearts. So we have to begin with hijrah of the heart. This is absolutely critical, and we have to purify ourselves, body and mind. No more, and we need to develop critical thinking. We should have the best critical thinkers in the entire world. We should have the most intuitive humans in the entire world. This should be our goal. I'm holding us to a high standard because we have tremendous potential as an ummah. We can come out of this dark age and move into a golden era, but it will it requires complete total transformation and a holistic approach to all things. And we need to think of Allah as the healer, the guide, the merciful, the compassionate, the forgiver. So anyway, these are some things to consider as we move forward. May we find genuine solutions. May we be transformed. May Allah accept our tawbah and tazkiyah and help us in these endeavors. First, we have to see the problem accurately. If we have a wrong view, we will have incorrect practice, and we will be stuck in this or worse situations moving forward. We need to come out of this misery, out of this delusion. The time of Dajjal means that lies are all around us, deception and delusion, and those will also be within the Ummah. We need to see these things clearly in order to come out of them. So please think about these things carefully. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.